Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are live after 5 a.m. and this is period 4. And it is the day before Turkey Day.
It's actually
Thursday, you're right. It's actually Tuesday. And we're out of here tomorrow. You guys don't have to come to class tomorrow. I want some of you to go home and get some beauty rest. Some of you need it more than others. It's going to be awesome. So, today I figured out how to do the history. We want to log into the history. Are you with me?
Yes.
So what I had to do was I had to take out the list view. Do you guys remember we had a list view right here? I took out the list view and I replaced it with a spinner. Spinner. So what is a spinner?
What's a spinner?
Have you guys ever seen, like, when you were online and it says enter your birth date and you go up and you click on month and then all the 12 months drop down? That is a spinner.
Do you want me to delete the list view? Oh, did I tell you that she hit me?
Who did? Morgan?
Do you want me to delete the list view?
Leave Matthew.
I thought he was going to actually say, good job.
Good job.
Because usually you guys do that.
So I'm going to go ahead and delete the list view. Are you guys with me? And add in a spinner. I named the spinner, what did I name it? I think I called it Spinner History. Spinner History. What? That's okay, because we don't need them. It's all right. We don't need those blocks. Okay. How many people deleted the list view and added a spinner? Okay. Now, so let's go back to blocks. I'm going to show you what I did. By the way, right here in the prompt, you can say prompt search history so that when they see the prompt, it's going to say search history. Underneath, we're going to have puppies, dogs, cats, kittens.
I like kittens.
Michael Jordan. Whatever you're searching on history.
Yeah, I don't want to have Michael Jordan. Yeah, he's old. Obviously, he searches.
All right, so here's what I had to do. Before I went and go searched, okay, by the way, I couldn't figure this out last period. Are you with me? I couldn't figure it out. So here's what I did. I went over to list view and read about it. And then I went down to spinner, read about it. And by the way, folks, let's read this together. It says a spinner, a component that displays pop-up with a list of elements. These elements can be set in the designer or in the blocks editor. Where are we trying to set it? In the designer or the blocks editor? We are trying to do it dynamically in the block editor, right? When the app runs, we want code to when someone types in puppies or says puppies, we want it to go into the list, right? That is done dynamically with block code. Okay, so I was at least on the right track here. By setting the elements from a string property to a string separated concatenation, for example, choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. Or, here we go, or, Jeremiah, are you listening? I don't think you are. Matter of fact, I know you're not. That's why I called your name. Guys, look up here. It says the elements property to a list in the blocks editor. So what do I have to have? A list. Can we create an array list?
Yes.
Then can we add items to that list? Yes, I think we started doing that yesterday. And then once I add items to that list, I can take that list and shove it into the spinner, and then the spinner will have everything from the list. Are you with me on? Okay, everybody get that? So that's what I read. When I read that, I'm like, oh, aha, I need a list. And then I can take the list and put it in the spinner. Okay? Who understands this? Guys, if you don't understand something, what do you have to do? You got to go read. You got to go read about that component. You got to read. You got to study. You got to figure out. Okay? You got to go do a little bit of research. How long did it take me to read that?
Probably 2 seconds.
Well, since I'm timing it, okay, I'm only at 5 minutes and 32 seconds, and I guarantee you I've not been reading the entire time. Are you with me? So it probably took me like 60 seconds to read that. Okay? At some time in your life, if you're not getting something, you got to stop, slow down to speed up, read about it, study it, do some research, do a Google search. Are you with me? You got to do something so that you understand it, because you can't program something you don't understand. Guys, last period, I didn't understand it. I was trying to do different things with the list view, and nothing was working. It wasn't programming right, which means I couldn't program it. Are you with me? So now that I understand, oh, yeah, you got to have a list. Oh, you take the list, put it in the spin. I'm like, oh, no, I can do that. Are you with me? Where before I wasn't trying to do that. Okay. So here we go. We're going to go into blocks. And here's what I did. Can you guys see this? Go search. Oh, by the way, so here's what I did. I created a search history, create empty list. So now this is going to be an array list. And we can have listed out all the history items put in there. And then I said add items to the list, global search history, web search text. So whatever they're searching on the web, I'm throwing into the list. And then right here, set spinner history.elements to copy list, global search history. That is my list. I took the list and put it into the spinner, and guess what? It worked perfectly.
Do we have a global search history? I do. You don't have a global search history.
Okay?
I know. So you know.
And that's how you do it. I don't even need all this other stuff over here.
Not even the tiny database?
Yeah, we don't need the tiny web database now. Okay? It's being stored in the spinner.
Well.
And now, here's the cool thing about this. Are you ready for this? Now I can clean up my app a little bit. Ready? Let's go clean up our app. Guess what? Do I need the button down at the bottom that says display list? No, I don't. I deleted that. And then one of my students brilliantly said, why don't we take the home button, move it to the middle, and take the two back and forward buttons and put them on the outside? Let's take the home button, make it, I mean, it was brilliant. I'm like, that's a great idea. Now you don't need the history button. Why not? Because all you have to do is go to the spinner and all your history's in now. It acts as a button and a spinner. And by the way, I then made it so that if you ever wanted to go back and search for something, you can go back into your spinner and select it, and boom, go search. Spinner. What? Here? Okay. So I clean my, anytime you guys can clean up your app, more buttons doesn't always mean better. Are you with me? Sometimes less is more. Look at Google. All it is like one button with a microphone. Okay? And a search bar. So now, let me go back here. I'll show you this. Right here, after selecting the spinner, right? If you go back, and I put in a counter here, right? So we could go do this web search. Okay? If they select this, if they go back to the history and say, oh, yeah, I want to go back and search puppies again, they could go and click on the spinner, go back to puppies, and it'll add. So it'll keep going into your history. Are you with me? And then you're just going to say, okay, go search the web with the selection from the spinner.
Spinner.
It's hard to program when your hands are in your pocket. Okay. So that's how I did that.
Do we have a global search counter?
Global search counter. Okay, so where did I do that at? I realized that this was missing right here. Do you guys remember we put this in the other day? And I wanted to have it count, so like search 1, search 2, search 3, search 4. So I went back to my code today, and this block was not there. So what did I have to do? I had to go and create this. I have a toggle view counter. I copied and pasted this. I created a search counter, and then every time you search, you're going to go ahead and put that in there.
That's nice.
And then I think I put that over here also. There it is. Yeah, this, you don't need this here. This can be global search counter. Yeah, that's global search counter. Okay.
Yes. So that one should be global search.
Actually, this one right here, this could be search counter.
Why?
Because, you know, the counter really is only dealing with the click, right?
That's understandable.
This guy here. I'm only handling that counter to do the view. Really, that's all I'm doing there.
Not view counter, no.
Okay? So I have 134 blocks of code. All right?
I have 109.
So I'll go ahead and print these out. All right?
Thank you. Come on.
Download blocks of code. There's the blocks of code. We're going to hit print. We're going to hit shrink to fit page. We're going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we're done. So keep calm and code on. 11 minutes.